Hey there! Today, we're going to peel back the secrets of a fruit you probably think you know inside and out, the banana. It's in pretty much everyone's kitchen, but trust me, it is hiding some wild secrets. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about that? You can slice it up, you can mash it, you are not going to find a single seed. So, how in the world do we get more bananas if there's nothing to plant?
I know what you're thinking. Of course it does. It's tall, it's got big leaves, it's a tree, right? Well, botanically speaking, nope. All right, let's get into this because the real story is so much weirder and cooler than you'd imagine.
To really get to the bottom of the banana mystery, we have to start with the most basic question. What is it, really? And that's where we hit our first huge misconception. I mean, you've seen pictures of banana plantations, right? They have these tall, thick, sturdy-looking trunks with giant leaves fanning out at the top. It looks for all the world like a tropical tree. But in the plant world, it is a master of disguise. So, if it's not a tree, what on earth is it? Prepare yourself because this first fact about your favorite yellow fruit is a big one. That's right. The banana plant is technically a giant herb. It's actually related to things like ginger and turmeric. It has absolutely zero woody tissue, which raises a pretty big question. How does it even stand up? Okay, so here's the trick. That thing that looks like a trunk, it's actually called a pseudostem, which literally means fake stem. It's made up of the bases of the plant's leaves, all wrapped incredibly tightly around each other. It creates a structure that's strong enough to hold the whole thing up, but it's really just a giant, super compact bundle of leaves.
Okay, so we've got a giant herb with a fake trunk. Check. Now, let's get back to that other major question, the missing seeds. If there are no seeds to plant, how on earth do farmers grow more?
Oh, the plot thickens. That whole fake stem we just talked about, not the real stem. The true stem is a thing called a rhizome, and it's buried under the soil, kind of like a ginger root. And that is where all the magic really happens. The process is actually pretty straightforward, but it's also a little weird. That underground rhizome sends up these little baby shoots called suckers. A farmer can literally just chop off one of these suckers, stick it in the ground, and poof, a brand new banana plant starts to grow that is a perfect genetic copy of its parent. It's basically natural cloning. This is honestly the best way to think about it. It's not about pollination or seeds at all. It's just making copies. Every single banana plant is a clone of its parent. And while that's super efficient, it also has some massive world-changing consequences. So this whole cloning method is fantastic for farming. You know exactly what you're going to get every single time, but it also creates this giant, invisible vulnerability. We haven't just grown a bunch of bananas, we've created a global army of identical twins, and that is a huge gamble. Just let that sink in. The millions and millions of bananas that are shipped all over the world, the ones you see stacked high in every single grocery store, they all come from just one variety. For all practical purposes, they are the exact same plant, just copied over and over and over again. And here is why that is so incredibly risky. In any population with genetic diversity, some individuals are going to be naturally resistant to a disease. But when everyone is an identical clone, there's no firewall. If a disease comes along that can kill one Cavendish banana, it can kill every single Cavendish banana on Earth. Now, this isn't just some scary what-if scenario. This is a disaster that has literally already happened. You see, the banana you eat today is actually a replacement. It's plan B for a banana that the world absolutely loved and then lost. Before our Cavendish banana, the undisputed king was a variety called the Gros Michel, or Big Mike. And people who tasted it swear it was way better, creamier, sweeter, with a much more powerful banana flavor. It was the banana, until everything fell apart. A fungus called Panama disease started spreading through the soil in Central America. And because every single Gros Michel plant was a clone, none of them had any defense. The disease moved like wildfire, totally wiping them out. The entire industry collapsed, and farmers frantically looked for a replacement. They found it in the Cavendish, which just so happened to be immune to that particular strain of the fungus. The big lesson here is that we basically replaced one clone army with a different clone army. Wild bananas, the kind that are full of big, hard seeds, have tons of genetic diversity, which is like having a whole library of defenses against diseases. Our commercial Cavendish bananas, they have almost none. We solved the immediate problem, but we didn't learn the lesson about the dangers of putting all our eggs in one genetic basket. And that brings us to today. A new, much nastier strain of Panama disease has shown up, called Tropical Race 4. And this time, our Cavendish has no resistance. It's already destroyed plantations across Asia and Australia, and it has made its way to Latin America. The exact same nightmare scenario is playing out all over again. So, is the banana going extinct? Well, no, not exactly. But it does mean the Cavendish, the only banana most of us have ever known, is pretty much living on borrowed time. The race is on to find our next banana. The good news is we have technology today that they didn't have back in the 50s. Scientists are now working on gene editing, trying to borrow resistant genes from some of those wild, inedible bananas to create a new, super strong variety. But this fix brings its own set of questions. Will people be okay with eating a genetically modified banana? And, maybe just as important, what's it going to taste like? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about, right? The banana is such a simple, everyday fruit, but it has this incredibly dramatic past and a future that's a total cliffhanger. So next time you peel one, you'll know the incredible and kind of precarious story it has to tell. Thanks for watching.